here is our reverse grid. Zars will start on pole with the Mercedes. PTG Muri in second place in the Subaru. Kieran in third with the Audi S3. And now the Audi and the Subaru HCR Espion struggled in the rain, but in the dry could be a whole nother story. Fifth place, the Scion TC of Tim and Ninetails. Mighty fast car around this circuit. Rubber Trail in sixth with a brilliant showing with that Golf. Invisible AK in seventh place with the Megane. Yami in eighth in the Mercedes. Impega down in ninth place. Of course, these guys got lots of overtaking to be trying to do. Jamja Hastings, our sort of championship leader potentially at this stage, is starting from 10th. Hordes in 11th, couldn't quite get to the pole on the reverse grid. GTR Aston in 12th. Blazer in 13th place with the Civic. The second of the Audis, Dura Integra, is in 14th place. 15th will be Stevie in the Volvo S60. THR Mugen in 16th, showed some good speed with the Mazda, very unlucky with that one. LM with the Golf in 17th place. Regliska, as we said, got into trouble in 18th with the Lexus ahead of the Creator in the second of the Volvos. And at the back, we have got the Renault Megane, Please Don't Eat Me, likely to be very, very quick. Internet troubles would not see him able to take part in the first race, but yeah, watch out for that car cutting his way through the field as we are off and underway for our final race of the championship. Look for the Scion soaring down towards turn one. Zars is going to lead them through the first quarter. The Scion around the outside tried to get two cars. Looks like he might just about, it looks like he's got Espion. He might just about be able to draw alongside the Audi of Kieran. They're going to make it three wide. It's not all going to fit. The Scion is in a bit of bother. I think he's just about got away with it. Somebody gave a big shot. I don't quite know. Unfortunately, the poor Scion is the one that gets screwed over in all of that. Somebody missed their braking into that first quarter. The concertina effect will dump the Scion all the way to the back of the field. It's going to be a long old drive for that poor Ninetails, all the way down into the 17th place there. Zars does look like they're going to... he's going to continue to lead this race. Actually got quite a nice lead over the rest of the field. Muri in second place is going to be defending as much as he can from Kieran's Audi. Gets a little bit of a wiggle going on there. Not sure there's a little bit of a lag wiggle or quite what went on at that moment in time. The rest of the cars finding their way through this opening lap. Jam is in sixth place, and that's not the sight that Espion is going to want to see. He's going to want to see the Mercedes as far back as possible. Really, it's like Kieran has just got his way up into a second place. Espion having to try and defend from Yami. Keen to get his way past his teammate over there. They might come a little bit unstuck by Yami if they're going to go three wide down the back straight. No, they aren't. The Mercedes not quite able to get the run down there. Is Espion going to be able to get the move around the outside? Will his teammate give him space? Oh, they're all running a little bit wide through there. Kieran even wider. I think that was very much a case of follow the leader right there. Kieran ran wide. Everybody followed his braking zone. Muri's gone very, very wide out of that final quarter. Big slide from the Subaru. Going to lose a heap of positions. Here comes Espion on that second place. Audi is going to get right under the rear wing as they head down towards the first quarter. You're not going to find much space on the outside. Will he have a big dive up the inside? He looks at it. It's not quite going to make anything happen there. It's too smaller a braking zone to get a maneuver done. Yami is right in behind there, ready to pounce. Jam was out across the curbs and fighting that Mercedes. In the background we saw. Now, I said last time, I probably shouldn't say this. It's good news for Zars. The more that this big old group of cars fights, Yami gets big sideways. Again, not sure if that was a slight assist from his teammate or whether he did it on his own through there. Looks like Jam might be able to move his way up into that fourth place. We'll have to wait and see, though, because, again, he's going to be stuck on the outside into the next quarter, and Yami is a lot closer alongside. He will fend that place off. Jam going to try and cut to the inside. Again, you can cut to the inside there, but it's not necessarily going to do you any good, because then you'll be for a very, very long trip around this kind of final quarter. There is a big old scrap going on behind him. Pega is marred down in traffic, stuck in ninth, not really able to make his way forward. Blaze has done well, actually, with the Civic up into 8th place. Hordes is holding on to a top 10 from the Vauxhall of Aston. The Mugen in the Mazda is making his way up through the field, up into 12. Rubber Trail has slipped down to a 13th place. Ninetails only managed to regain himself up into a 16th at the moment. back to the front of the field, and still Espion is piling on the pressure, trying to find a way past Kieran. He's got a good run onto the back straight, but it's not quite good enough. He's not quite close enough. And they've got to be very, very mindful of that Mercedes. Yami is indeed closing quick. Subaru is going to have a sniff up the inside. Will he be able to make that pass stick? Audi sliding, Subaru sliding their way through the next corner. Now, if you can't get that move done cleanly, you've got to be really mindful of leaving the door open through this final corner. The Mercedes wants to have a go up the inside. I don't think he's quite got the overlap there to get the move done. No, he hasn't. It's millimeters to spare between these vehicles. The Subaru is getting off that final corner so well, but he just can't do anything down into turn one. There's just no space to get overtakes done through there. Nobody is being aggressive with that outside curb. I can't say I blame them. Having seen, is Yami going to try and get... Yami tries to draw alongside. Still, Kieran is going to defend the inside line. The more he defends that, Espion's going to come into trouble from the Mercedes. That's not where you want to be. It's, again, the same thing we've seen it time and time again at this circuit. You go for the inside at one corner that spits you on the outside for the next one, and when you've got a train of cars, you just get steam trained. Everybody wants to fire their way back past. Espion is going to have a big dive up the inside of the Mercedes. He might even draw alongside the Audi as they continue to battle their way, and once more, Espion is stuck going the long way round, and a big slide from the Subaru. That's going to lose him a position to Jam's Mercedes, and Yami's going to get the move done on Kieran. Yami is going to get the position up into a second place here. Brilliant driving from the Mercedes. We might have a Mercedes 1, 2, 3 at a minute. Jam is now looking for a way past that Audi. They head back into the first corner. Not good news. Not good news for Espion. Needs to, both Kieran and Jam running wide across the curve. You see both their cars wiggling through there. The Mercedes having a think, not really quite close enough. The Subaru, very, very good under brakes down there. Subaru close up massively under braking. But, again, there's no place to get a pass done. Overtaking around this Silverstone circuit is certainly proving to be very, very difficult. Kieran will go defensive into this next corner. Jam thinks better of it. Espion runs very, very deep. Kieran's run wide as well. Now, Kieran's going to make it awkward. No, he isn't. Jam's got through. Jam is past the Audi. Still, the Audi's having a look up the inside. He's not going to be able to do anything there. This is, Mercedes 1, 2, 3. Zars is going to come under pressure very, very quickly. I will just briefly go and show you what's going on further back in the race. It's all kicking off at the top. AK is coming under increasing fire from Impega's Ford that's mounting its way across the curb. Just about keeps it on the track. Looks like the Ford may be able to get the pass done down into turn one. So small braking zones here. They lean on one another through there. And nope, AK is going to, I think, hold on to that one. We can get back into line ahead of the Focus. It's going to be very, very nip and tuck into this next corner. And he will get it across in front of the Ford. The Ford doesn't give him a bump into. There's a big train of cars. Big train of cars going on down there. Yami is starting to make the moves against the leader. Zars, he's had a good run, has led the race for 6 laps. Will he be able to lead it for Eddie Moore? I mean, the more he's going to fight with Yami, the quicker the likes of Jam, Kieran, Espion are all going to close up to this lead group. It's a massive battle now. 5 cars are competing for the lead here. 3 of them competing for the victory in the championship. Yami, I think, is going to get the run out of the last corner. He will sneak that alongside down towards turn 1. Now, Zars is going to want to make sure he gets his car in line, ready to defend for the first corner. Indeed, he does. Doesn't try to tough it out around the outside of turn 1. Is going to fall into line there. Espion has run very, very deep through the first corner. Is going to have fallen off the tail of this group a little bit. Now it is Zars going to have to try and defend from Jam. Kieran looking for a way past. Espion so good under brakes in that Subaru. Through Beckett's, that Subaru closes so much. Jam's got into big trouble. Our championship leader ran very, very wide out onto this back straight. Kieran is right there looking for a way past. Can he do anything about him? Nope. There is just not the braking zone there, although Jam going to run a little bit wide. Espion is keen to try and buy into this, of course, looking for any opportunity he can. He's on the grass. He's on the curb. Kieran left the door a smidge open. I wouldn't even say there was a door left open. The door was ever so fractionally ajar, and the Subaru found himself a gap, but of course that's cost the pair of them. That's cost the pair of them lost ground to Jam Jar in that Mercedes, who thought about having a go up the inside, isn't going to be able to do it. Zars is going to hold that inside line and continue to frustrate the Mercedes of Jam. Still, Jam not able to get a pass done. Will he dive up the inside here? Not close enough. Zars will cover the inside. The Subaru is closing under brakes. The Audi has found the door wide open for him. Well, made the door wide open. And again, Jam's really struggling getting onto this back straight. The Audi will draw up alongside, but doesn't quite have the straight line speed to finish the move off. Will the Subaru go for the inside? No. Oh, yes, he will. He went from a long way back to the inside. There is a little bit of paint swapping going on between these two cars. Oh, and that's Espian's gone. Espian and Kieran have had a big coming together. I think the Audi is in trouble as well. I said it was going to end in tears for all of them, and indeed it has, with Espian down, Kieran down as well. Oh dear indeed. That's not what you want to be seeing there. AK has inherited the 5th place from that kerfuffle. I don't actually quite know where Espian has ended up. I think he may have retired the car from all of that. Impega worked his way up into 7th place. Impega is a good example of the difficulties in trying to fight your way through the traffic here with the Ford. Mighty fast in race 1, certainly had a car capable of competing right at the very front. You get stuck in traffic. You try and fight your way through the traffic here. You lose so much time. And this is a car that was as quick as Jam's Mercedes and is currently struggling, trying to make his way through the pack. It's going to be a brilliant overtake, having said that. That is how you... how you get overtakes done here at the Silverstone National Circuit around the outside of the first part. We'll put you on the inside for the very long final corner, and that is a brilliant pass from the Ford. Looks like Mugen might be up into the top 10 though, as the Mazda running in 9th place, trying to fend off the Civic around into turn 1. It'd be good to see the Mazda able to score some points here. Again, both Mugen and Blazer have yet to score points in this championship, so if they can fend off these positions, hold on to these positions for the next few laps, that would be very good going for them indeed. Now, back to the front of the field. It is Yami that is leading the way, up 7 places from his grid position. From Jamjar Hastings in 2nd, along with Zars in 3rd. A 1, 2, 3 for the Mercedes. They're definitely liking this circuit. The Mercedes are most definitely liking this circuit. Kieran is in 4th place in terms of the championship. We'll need more than that to be able to gate. I think he's about 6 or so points down on Jam, and with Jam being up in 2nd, yeah, the Audi will need to push incredibly hard for these next few laps if he is going to. Indeed, he does. Running the car across the curb, will need to push incredibly hard to make up those positions. AK is doing well up in 5th in the Megane. Again, a good solid round for AK. Of the Redos, it's tended to be Please Don't Eat Me that's been scoring the points, but AK has got a decent position so far. I don't actually know where the second of the Renaults is. He's still stuck in traffic. Down in 19th place. I think may have been involved in a crash at some point then. To have not made any progress through the field. We would have expected it after his qualifying times. So, yeah, we will have to see. I'll have a look on the replays at some point if there is anything that went on with that particular car. AK has actually started to look at making a move on the Audi of Kieran. If possible, the Audi may have sustained damage in all of that. Again, storage inquiries and so on will have to be looked at after the race. Don't really get the camera angle to see it when I am doing this. Mugen is actually on the charge with the Mazda, having a look, trying to get 8th place away from Hordes as we run through turn 1. Blazer just dropped off back a little bit. The Mazda apparently really liking the Silverstone circuit. The both of them, I think, are catching Muri as we head down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Not close enough to try and overtake at this particular point in the lap, unless the BMW both run very wide. Oh, big slides again. Curse of the commentator is going in full effect when it's up against the Mazdas. You know what, Mazda, Mugen, I'm going to leave you to it. We're going to look somewhere else. We're going to look somewhere else. It's let you do your things. Integra up in 11th place. Looks like it might be very... Is it very close between the front? I think that's looking at split times, actually, on their fastest lap. Yami leading the way with a little bit more of a margin. Oopsie, didn't want to have that. Go away, please. I don't have to... Oh, toggle data. That's the one. We're going to have a look at the ticker. We got time intervals. There we go. Let's have a look at the gaps. Yami leads by 2 seconds over Jamjar Hastings, who's a further 2 seconds ahead of Zars, who's a further 2 seconds ahead of Kieran. Well, it's it's that irritating distance between cars. You can see the vehicle ahead, you can see if they make a mistake and so on, but you're not really close enough to profit. Particularly Kieran is coming under increasing pressure from the McGann Invisible AK, looking for a way past that Audi as we head down the back straight. Will the Audi have a go up the inside? Kieran's not really moving across to defend as much as you might expect, although we've seen this time and time again around this corner. You can get to the inside for the first part, but that's not really the important bit, because it's the second part, which is where Kieran is going to put his car, that is the tougher part, because, well, AK can't go around the outside. And sure enough, can't get the move done. Kieran will hold on to the pace, and here comes Impega having a look, having a sniff with the Ford. I think the Ford is probably the quickest of these 3 cars. But trying to get passes done is not exactly easy. Down towards turn 1 we go once more. The McGann still not in a place. I think it may have given the Audi a little bit of a bump there, sideways through there. The Renault off across the curb, and here comes that Ford for the second race in a row. It looks like the McGann tries to go for an overtake on the car ahead, loses a little bit of time, and then promptly loses a position indeed. Impega's going to get to the inside there. Will the McGann have the speed, have the grip? No, I can't quite compete. The focus is very, very good through the corners. The Ford a little bit heavier than some of the cars around him, but still makes up for it with corner speed, makes up for it with downforce. The Focus has got a tremendous amount of a downforce. AK is going to have a little bit of a sniff up the inside, isn't going to do it. Kieran might run a little bit deep on the braking, Impega even deeper as they continue to fight. Now, it's AK's turn to try and profit from, sure enough, there it is to the inside of the final turn. Can he get the move completed, though, because you get a good run on the exit when you're on the outside. It doesn't look like he quite will. It's going to be side by side, and that's going to give Kieran a chance to run away a little bit. Out in front of them, yeah, Impega's going to get back across in front, and I don't think there's not a big enough braking zone, and these cars are far too similar to be able to have that big lunge into the first corner. It is a tiniest jump on the brakes, and when your cars are, yes, so very, very similar in terms of performance, in terms of builds and so on, you're not going to be able to dive from that far back. It looks like there's a big fight starting to happen over 7th place. Miura struggling a little bit with the Subaru, is now starting to create a bit of a trade. Hordes with the BMW is looking wide. A few cars tending to go for that, I say tending to go for that wider line. I think it's a little bit more of a ending up on the wider line through there. If you kind of brake a little bit too late on the way sort of in towards Beckett, you get in trouble. Oh, there's a big out-braking moment from Hordes, or either that or Muri. I think Muri is really struggling with that Subaru, because the Mazda of Mugen is right there now. Muri is having a tough time with that Subaru. They're almost touching through that final corner. Everybody getting away with that one. I don't know what we've got battle-wise outside of the top 12. I think it looks like it's a little bit more spread out. The final points-paying position might be about to come under threat. Rubber Trail trying to fend off from the poor side of Ninetales. Cannot catch a break with with that car. Is he going to try around the outside at turn 1? I think that's unlikely to quite pay off, although Volkswagen is very, very wide through that particular corner. I don't think, though, yeah, left side, I'm not going to be close enough to do anything. Oh, Hordes has got exploring, just as I mentioned about cars taking a bit too wider a line if you try and go for a little bit late braking through Beckett's there. Yeah, that's the BMW off on a merry adventure through, well, not quite through the sand. Lost a place to the Mazda. Has got back on track, though, in 9th position. It looks like Blaze is going to have a big old crack down the inside. No, there we had a big dive. Couldn't quite get it done. Might come under threat from the Audi if he isn't careful through there. You've got to be really mindful when you dive back across the track. You don't end up, well, sort of spinning yourself off the nose of the car behind, and indeed it looks like Integra may have... No, he didn't get the move done in the end. Oh, Rubber Trail's come to join in with the Volkswagen, as they run down the start-finish. I think Integra may have lifted to not spin the Civic of Blazer. Now they're all heading into turn 1. There's a big, big group of cars. There's a big, angry group of cars through the first corner. They all give each other space. Well done, everybody, for giving each other enough room at that particular section. Ninetales is on the inside. No, he backed out of it in the end, I think. Didn't quite want to get involved in that big old kerfuffle. Blazers on the grass and sliding. The Volkswagen gets caught up in all of that, having to lift off. Integra is going to dive to the inside, get a bit of a bump draft from the side. We're going to go 3, 4 wide down the back straight. This is over the final of the points paying positions. Ninetales backs out of it, knowing that there is just going to be no space out over there as they run through towards the final corner. Integra's got that 10th place after all of that. Brilliant driving from these guys. Brilliant driving from all of them. Blazers trying to get a point off of Rubber Trail's Volkswagen, and he will, I think, get up the inside, and I'm fairly sure Ninetales bought into that as well. I think the Golf might have gone exploring on the grass potentially to lose all of that time. Looks like Ninetales might jump up a position into 11th. Would be good to see. Be good to see the Scion. I can't quite get it done on the inside, though. Through there will have to back out of that one. Let us jump, though, to the front of the field. It is going to be, unless there's any disastrous calamities befall these cars, we head into the final corners. A 1-2-3 for the Mercedes. Yami looks like he is going to take his first victory in the series for the H2H racing team. Very good day for the Mercedes here, with Yami coming around the final corner. Are we going to have a formation finish between the two H2H racing cars? It looks like we might do here, as the Mercedes are going to take first and second. That will be a championship victory for Jamjar Hastings. Oh, it might not be a 1-2-3. I think Impega just got Zars on the line. I don't think Impega was close enough. Oh, disappointment. Zars couldn't quite get a podium, but well held to get a 4th place regardless. That's a shame. Poor Zars in the Mercedes. I think Ninetales ended up with 11th in the end. Oh, dear. There is certainly some drama in that one. Gliska will claim 14th ahead of Stevie's Volvo. It's a bad day, an unfortunate day for the Renault of Please Don't Eat Me. Unsure quite what happened to that car. Hopefully there'll be an action replay at some point in all of that. Yeah, high drama. High drama indeed in this final race. As I think the Renault's last car. Oh no, there is a broken down Vauxhall on the inside of the course. Don't quite know what happened to GTR Aston's car. It makes a change for it not to be the Honda that has broken, or had the engine breakdown. Yeah, something gone on with it. It could well have been, to be fair, the Vauxhall and the Renault that got together. I think they were running fairly close together on the opening parts of the race, just sort of limping its way down the. Yeah, that's a poorly car. That is a that is a poorly car indeed. Well, it looks like I am going to be doing a lot of marshalling, a lot of checking of the replays to see quite what went on. Unfortunately, yeah, the big incident. I was looking at the slightly wrong point to see we're going to get some weaving. We're warming up the tyres in the Vauxhall, are we, or trying to get some fuel? I don't know which one. Vauxhall is very much poorly. We've had a Rallycross Honda. I wonder if we've got like a ski slalom Vauxhall going on now. Got to wait out the end of the race timer. Well, whatever happens with the stewarding, Jam is going to be our championship victor here. It is a worthy victory. The Mercedes came good. Certainly, it had the speed here. At Aston just telling me there was a curb incident. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the curb certainly got a fair few vehicles. We're going to give you a final rundown of this race, just for any drivers that I may have missed when I was flicking through them. Yami will claim a victory in the final race. First victory for Yami with that Mercedes. Jamjar getting second. An incredible finish between Impega and Zars. The Mercedes, unfortunately, Zars not quite able to keep it on the podium. Well done to Impega for gaining that one. Kieran in 5th with the Audi ahead of Invisible AK with that Renault. The Subaru PTG Muri struggled a lot here at Silverstone. Could only manage 7th place. Just held off THR Mugen, who will finally score his first points of the series. Hordes gets 9th and some more points with that BMW. Integra claiming 10th. Ninetales will recover to 11th. Could have been so much better with that poor Scion. Blazer also gets his first points of the series. Well done, Mugen Blazer, for getting on the mark with those all-important championship points. Rubber Trail, I'm reading someone got into a little bit of trouble on the opening lap, is 13th. Gliska at Circuit Alexis was always likely to struggle around, I will be honest, in 14th, ahead of Stevie. LM with the Golf in 16th. Creator in 17th with the Volvo. Please don't hit me with the Megane down in 18th. GTR Aston and HCR Espion failed to finish. on to the final Drivers' Championship standings. And it is Jamjar Hastings that would take victory here after a sad ending for Espion and Kieran. Kieran would receive a 10-second time penalty that sees him end up plummeting to 12th in the overall standings. The race here was very, very close between the mid-pack. There certainly was a fair bit of bumping going both ways between the pair of them, always likely to end in tears. I actually think the Mercedes probably had the pace to fend them off anyway. Yami would hold on to 4th with his first victory of the season, beating Impega's Ford. That would be the best of the independents. Tim and Ninetails gets 6th, desperately unlucky in that Scion. Static Sheep 7th, PTG Muri in 8th, ahead of Invisible AK in 9th. The Random Demon would round out the top 10 with his Honda just about clinging on. I haven't been unable to race in this one. Please don't eat me in 11th. Hordes just fends off Zars with a single point between the pair of them, the BMW in 12th. Zar couldn't quite get the podium. Had he managed to get that podium, had he managed to get that third place, he would have taken 12th in the championship, but not quite. Stephen Magnus would end up in 14th with the Scirocco ahead of Ragliska. Aaron McGrath in 16th. Shaq in 17th. Durintegra R in 18th place. Rubber Trail gets 19th with that 1 points finish with the Golf. Language in 20th, with 10 points in the Volvo. GTR Aston in 21st. THR Mugen gets his first points of the series and would get 22nd in the championship with a good race with the Mazda. Got a little bit unlucky again in places with that poor Mazda. And a little bit further down we have the Creator in 23rd on 6 points as well. Stevie in 24th, and Blazer rounds out the championship with the Civic scoring 2 points. I think pretty much everyone that attended 2 races or 2 or more races did manage to score points, which is nice to see. There's nice to see some good performances from drivers at different circuits. For the team's championship, and H2H Racing would take victory in the end, a fairly large margin of victory. Team BMR Subaru struggling a lot in these last 2 races. Certainly weren't going particularly well in the rain, and the Mercedes were picked up the pace to the very end of that championship. Audi would claim 3rd ahead of the Renaults, just managing to beat out the Ford Racing UK. DMAC Racing, the Scions, would beat the independent Subaru. The Repsol Honda would be in 8th place ahead of the Wackos Motorsport BMWs, and the Jamsport dealer team, the independent Mercedes, would round out the top 10 there. Red Dice Racing in 11th place with the Scirocco ahead of the Crunchyroll Motorsport Lexus. Bosch could only manage 13th, although unfortunately didn't see too much of their Scions in the later rounds of the championship. Alphaholics Racing would take 14th ahead of Volkswagen Motorsport. World Racing in 16th. Axis Bank would take 17th ahead of the team. Aeon VXR Vauxhall. Team Highlands Racing Mazda in 20th, and Burnt Rubber Racing rounding out the end of the team's championship. Again, all teams that took part in more than one race would score points in this championship, which is, as I said, nice to see that one. And likewise, all of the manufacturers would score points by the end. Mazda left it very late, but would score points by the very end. Mercedes taking victory in the manufacturers championship over Subaru. Audi claiming 3rd place ahead of Renault. Ford leapfrog Scion in this final round. A fair bit of a gap back from Scion to the Honda. Volkswagen leapfrog BMW following the Golf's impressive performance ahead of Lexus. Volvo in 11th place. Alfa Romeo 12th. Vauxhall 13th. And as I said, Mazda scoring some points in this final race. That, though, is going to be it for, indeed, this video and this championship. A big congratulations to Jamjar Hastings with the Mercedes. Looked like the Mercedes might be in a bit of trouble at some stages in the championship. Managed to pull it back, though, together in these sort of final couple of rounds. Mercedes really did come good. Very, very exciting championship, this one. It has been great fun to commentate on, do something a little bit different. I'm looking forward to potentially doing more. I'm going to see. Unfortunately, the videos for this and so on not been massively popular, and it is horrendously time-consuming doing all of this. Our next championship is going to be a one-make race series, going to be with some very, very different cars. hopefully we'll get even closer, even more exciting racing than we got here. A big thank you, of course, to all of the drivers as well who have taken part in this and made the racing as spectacular and exciting for all of you to watch. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.